Now in the first Berserker Khazan, there's going to be a whole bunch of options available to you in order to pick up a lot of gear, grab yourself a whole bunch of sets of armour, as well as choose yourself some nice weapons. For this video though, I'm going to be going over my top 3 picks for the best sets you can pick up for the Greatsword in order to feel truly powerful and have a lot of fun with the game. Now for the first one, I'm going to be going over one that I think is really underrated, but I really like it, and that's going to be the Great General. This set I think is totally underrated. It's such a good set to use, and because it doesn't need any specific weapon, you can kind of tune it to your own style and use whatever skills and spirit arts you want to around the set rather than being forced into any choices. As you start grabbing set pieces, you're going to enhance your damage, and you're going to be able to grab some frontal assault damage, 50% receive damage when you're unscathed, a really big multiplier to your frontal assault damage once more at 10%, and when you grab all the way to 5 pieces, you're also going to be able to get hold of a really nice bonus that will give you 20% extra damage for 15 seconds whenever you've performed a counter attack. Now like we said, you can use any weapon with this because it doesn't take a specific one, so it's perfect for anyone who wants to experiment or find their own playstyle. However, 2 I would definitely recommend that I found best overall. One was going to be the Greatsword of Mercy, as this allows you to have some really fast gameplay, and the Furious Swipe agility means you can chain things up with an extra fast potent attack afterwards. Or of course, probably the best sword in the game, the Sentinel's Greatsword, that's going to allow you to learn the move Mortal Blow Murderous. Now when you're able to put your gear together and you're going epic and above, the fixed stats that you're going to get on the gear: for the headpiece, you'll have 10% extra stamina recovery, then over to the chest and you're going to get extra frontal assault stamina damage, for the hands more stamina recovery once more, then a little bit more frontal stamina damage on the legs, finished off by going over to the feet where you'll be getting even more stamina recovery. Honestly, this set works out really good because the set bonuses on it really come together well, allow you to do a lot of damage, you get the stamina recovery back, and of course, like I said, you can mix and match your weapons depending on your playstyle and what you want to go for. I found if you go with the one that gives you Furious Swipe agility, you've got some really fast paced combat going on, and of course you can do some really nice damage because it charges the heavy attack afterwards. If however you're after something that gives you a little bit more damage, don't forget you can use the Sentinel sword, and this will give you Mortal Blow Murderous, which I think is pretty much the best overall skill you can probably get on a Greatsword, as it allows you to chain a whole bunch of damage together very fast when you find yourself chaining your mortal blows after your savage momentums. A few other things you may want to take advantage of though would definitely be things like your Phantom Knight's Vow. This works out pretty amazing on every single Greatsword build because it helps you to get a little bit of extra damage, doesn't cost very much spirit, and of course you're going to get the extra damage whenever you're charging your heavy attacks again, as well as making you take a little bit less stamina damage whenever you're being hit or taking some form of stamina damage from your enemies. Another one you definitely won't want to forget about is also going to be Inner Fury. I would try to put this into most of your builds, not all of them, but most of them, because it's going to help with the efficiency and just dishing out a lot of damage quicker, because you'll be able to pull off your charged attacks much faster for 15 seconds. Now if you are going with this set, a couple of phantoms that I definitely recommend. One would be Keshta the Unwielding. This phantom you pretty much can't go wrong in any build, and because we've got a bit of stamina regen going on already, this just enhances it even further. Or if you're into more of that hack and slash and you just want a bit more damage about yourself, as well as a little bit of a way to regain your spirit, then Wolfric the Resilient is always a great choice. For our next one, we're going to be jumping over to one of the coolest looking armor sets in the game, and that's going to be the Flesh Ripper set. This set looks absolutely amazing, and it also has some great set perks to it. You'll be getting things like 50% damage reduction after you perform a brutal attack, as well as much needed charged attack damage increase, receive stamina damage decrease, charged attack stamina increase, and finally Limit Break Apex, which allows you to charge up a fully heavy attack to its maximum, doing a ridiculous amount of damage in the right situations. With this set, again, when you've got your epic or above, you're going to come with certain stats as standard, and the fixed stats on it is going to be, for the Flesh Ripper sword, you'll be learning the Phantom Thanatos Wave. Then for the headpiece, you're going to get on critical health, so whenever you've got 30% or lower, 50% receive damage decrease at a 25% chance of it happening. For the chest, just an amazing one, you're going to be grabbing max health. Having as much health as you can really help you out with this set. For the gloves, critical damage increase, so you'll be pulling off more damage when you've got low health. And then for the legs, we're going to go with a little bit more max health. And finally, for the feet, we're going to get critical damage increase once more at 10%. Now this set is all about being able to pull off your absolutely devastating big power moves, and one thing I'd say, make sure you've got your Knight's Vow on, as this can really help out to do extra damage whenever you're bringing out your potent attacks. You're going to want to pull off a lot of charged attacks in this build, that's what it's pretty much based on. And of course don't forget you've also got your Limit Break Apex, so now you'll be able to hold down your potent attack for even longer and bring out some really devastating damage. If you can manage to pull this off in the right situations at the right times, especially if they're in their stamina broken state and you're going to be doing it before your brutal attack, this can work out very powerful indeed. Exactly the same again. Personally, I found that Wulfric the Resilient and Keshta the Unyielding worked absolutely amazing with this build, so go for whichever one you decide works out best for yourself. And finally, coming in at our top slot, probably a little bit odd because this is a lightweight armour, and with your Greatsword you would not expect that to be top dog, but I found Crimson Fiend set to be absolutely ideal. The set bonuses you're going to be getting is going to be Enraged damage increased by 15% whenever you're 50% stamina or lower. You're going to be getting a lot more damage going on. Then you're going to get charged attack damage increase, mortal blow and charged attack stamina recovery of 100, which is really good because you'll be using them constantly. Enraged receive damage decrease of 30%, and lastly the creme de la creme, mortal blow damage increase of 20% overall. That works out absolutely amazing. This whole gear set is set up to dish out a ridiculous amount of damage with Mortal Blow, but also set you up for attacks afterwards. The sword, like I said earlier, Sentinel's Greatsword is just one of the best weapons in the game, and because you learn Mortal Blow Murderous, it allows you to set up a lot of attacks and heavy attacks very fast and consistently. Again, when you start setting these up with Epic or above, the headpiece comes with stamina recovery, the chest comes with Enraged stamina damage increase, the arms are going to give you a little bit of stamina recovery. Then jumping over to the legs, and we're going to get Enraged stamina damage increase once more, and finally onto the feet we'll be grabbing up a little bit more stamina recovery. Honestly, after messing around with pretty much all of the sets in the game, this is by far and away my favourite one for the Greatsword because the gameplay is just really fast and frantic. The whole thing is going to be about you using Mortal Blow and then chaining it together with your heavy attack because it's going to pull it off ridiculously fast, as well as dishing out a lot of damage that way. Your Mortal Blow does crazy damage with this set, and I found the action to be really fast paced and everything to link together well when you're playing like this. Remember, exactly the same again, try and find a few spirit arts that are going to help you out. I'd say ones like Phantom's Night Vow are almost going to be a must with this set, and once you start getting used to the gameplay and realising how you can combo these together, pulling off Phantom Vow, then going into your charged swift attack, followed by a charged heavy and a charged heavy once more, you're going to pull off nice little combos, and your Mortal Blows will be coming out left, right and centre, as well as your charged heavy attack straight afterwards. Like I said, this dishes out a lot of damage, it's a lot of fun to see, and once you start modifying your gear for extra damage, you can really take down the toughest enemies fast. Now with this set, because you do actually give out a little bit of extra damage when you are below 50% stamina, one of the things I found was to change up some of the phantoms. Wulfric still works out perfect as you're going to get additional damage from that direct assault from the front, as well as extra spirit gain. But another one that I really liked with this was using Adelaide the Philanthropic. Now you're going to get a little bit of extra health recovery, but also she makes you very tanky because you're going to get 20% extra damage reduction for 30 seconds. Or if you wanted to try one that's a little bit more block orientated, then why not go for your Maximilian Impenetrable. Make sure you're doing a lot of Brink guards, and this is going to give you stamina back, guard stamina damage decrease, as well as increase your stamina damage performing on enemies. Another thing, don't forget, once you start collecting those Jarlins, going over to Danjin, making sure you pick up one of the jar heads can really work out to help you out, because then you'll be able to put on some tasty bits of jewellery that can make the build even more powerful. The best one you can probably pick up for Greatsword will be something like the most special jar, as this is going to give you extra strength, and then go over to your accessories and put on things that you think will help you out, because you'll be able to get the set bonus nice and easy. Ones that I liked on pretty much all of these were things like Necklace of the Singing Hawk and a Fugitive Mage's Ring, in order to get a little bit of extra damage about yourself. Right, hopefully that's helped a few of you guys and girls out. There's going to be a load more content away from me. As always, for All Things Gaming, take care. I'll see you on the next day.